The ICE Group, which is a recruitment training and outsource services company, broke the internet when they announced they were switching to a 4-day working week while staff will remain on the same pay. The company, based in Galway but with offices in Limerick, Sligo and Dublin, say that despite the changes, the standard of the services that they provide will not be affected. Margaret Cox is director at ICE Group and Pitman Training, and she is on the line right now to chat to me about this. Good morning to you, Margaret.
Good morning, Joe. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. Now, it sounds absolutely fantastic, but is there a catch? A 4-day week on the same pay? What am I missing here?
Yeah, that was the same question somebody actually asked me yesterday. There's no catch. We started on a journey over the last number of years. The journey has been there for a long time. How can we be more productive? How can we make a better workplace for our employees? And what can we do differently? And you will have noticed in the last number of months, 6 to 9 months, that people have seen this idea take hold. The company in New Zealand has started it, a few companies in the UK, I think 2 that I'm aware of, and maybe 1 or 2 in America. So we did a lot of research as an organisation. We looked at what it is that we're doing, what our key success factors are and what our KPIs are, and thought, we can probably make this happen in ICE. And we did. So on the 24th of May, we made the announcement to the staff, and there is no catch. It's a 3-day weekend, 4-day work week, and it's 5 days pay.
Right. But what, they fit more hours into the 4 days, is it?
Well, the 4 days will be longer. Yes, that's a fact. But we start off with the 3-day weekend. So you come back and you do 4 days, which are 9 hours instead of 8 hours. So there's 1 hour extra in every day, and there's no work either on a Friday or a Monday. So you pick your work pattern. Some people will work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then they're off Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And other people will work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So one way or the other, everybody has a 3-day weekend. And I guess that, from your own point of view, I'm sure when you go back to bank holiday weekends that, we all enjoy, and there are 9 public holidays in the whole year in Ireland. But on those Monday bank holidays, that Tuesday feeling when we've had 3 full days off at work, it's like we've been on holidays. And we come back in, we've total energy, we work through whatever we have to get done in the week, and we get it done by Friday.
So that's why you're saying, Margaret, that there will be no lack of work rate, and that your services in ICE will remain at the same level, if not actually better.
Indeed, and I think, and this is what, and I believe it, but so also do the team, and this is coming from the team of people. They believe that we're going to get better productivity. They believe we're going to be able to deliver more to the client. They're not going to be watching the clock. They're more focused on getting the job done, and it's all about delivering to the client. And then from that, they get their own self-satisfaction. And even if they are tired on a Thursday evening, having worked very hard probably for the previous 4 days, or they're very tired on a Friday evening, having worked very hard, but they know that they're going to be off for 3 days, and they're re-energising. They're doing things that they love. They're spending more time perhaps with their family. They're going to do some additional travelling. They're doing all sorts of things that they get fun and enjoyment out of. So the 4 days becomes all part of that and work. That's belief. That's what they believe. And the excitement is palpable in the office. We are so driven to make this a success. Everybody.
And how long have you been doing it?
So we're in the transition period at the moment. We made our announcement to staff on the 24th of May, and we're going live from the 1st of July. So in this transition period, what we need to do is everybody needs to figure out what work pattern works best for them and the customer base that they support. And some people will be able to start at 8 o'clock, some people start at 9, depending on their own personal circumstances. Some people have to get a bus to work. Some people have to drop kids off before they come to work. So not everybody, we're not making it hard and fast. You have to start at 8 or you have to start at 9. So people are figuring that out in their own little business units, and then coming back with a proposal and working together. So it's a bottom-up approach rather than us saying this is the way that we want it.
We're chatting to Margaret Cox, who's director at ICE Group and Pitman Training, about a 5-day week becoming a 4-day week for the team, but they're being paid the same, although, as she points out, the 4-day week is that bit longer per day. WhatsApp WhatsApp or text us on 086 123 95 95. But if it hasn't started yet formally, you probably aren't aware of the potential problems that you mightn't have anticipated but may come up.
Well, this is what we're doing at the moment in these 4 weeks. And we had, it's very interesting, we had what we called the Pessimist Committee before we made the announcement. The Pessimist Committee.
The Pessimist Committee. I can think of a lot of people who probably do as members of that.
Yeah, exactly. So they came together, they worked every day. They had a meeting every day, and they went through all of the different scenarios that they thought could happen, and that would be challenges. And then we thought of potential solutions. Some solutions we hadn't worked out before we went live on the 24th of May, but some, because we need the team to work with us on the possible solutions. Like, here's a little thing. We have cake on Fridays. So anybody who's had a birthday during the week or has had a reason to celebrate, we have cake on Fridays in our canteen. The problem now is obviously not everybody will be in on a Friday. So there's a challenge we have to figure out. When will we do Friday cake? So it'll probably be Wednesday cake from now on, because everybody will be in the office on Wednesday. So those kind of small little challenges. The other thing is, will there be enough people to answer the phone early in the morning or late at the night? Who will look after my customer if I'm not in the office on Friday and the customer rings with a problem on the Friday? So we're putting in some technological solutions as well, so that people can pick up.
It does sound like, you're working through the issues. But, Margaret,
yes.
You know the way human beings are. We feel great about someone saying to us, right, instead of doing a 5-day week, you can do a 4-day week, until the 4-day week becomes the regular pattern. And then we start complaining about the extra hours that we have to do in the 4-day week. And there's a sense that the 3-day weekend isn't enough, because when it becomes the norm and the novelty wears off, people feel the same pressures.
And I accept and acknowledge that that's a challenge, and that's a fear that, it's something that may very well happen. Our belief and the research that we have reviewed has come out and said, actually, no. When people feel less pressure, when they have more energy, when they are very clear what the vision is, in terms of, this is my 3-day weekend, that the 4 days becomes, and even if it's a slight bit longer, there's not an awful lot of difference in an additional hour between an 8-hour and a 9-hour day, particularly if you're focused on getting your work done and you have that energy from the weekend. And that's what the research has proven and suggested, and that's what our team believe. But you're right, that's a challenge, and we need to be aware of that as we go through this journey and make sure that we're taking account of it.
Do you think, now obviously it doesn't suit every company, it doesn't. There are some organisations where, for example, we're a 5-day-a-week show here, so,
yes.
That creates some issues trying to be 4-day-a-week show, but it does suit others. However, is there a lot, do you feel, of fancy talk going on by companies? You've taken it a step further and you're implementing about our flexible work, and this is what we want, and this is until you go and ask, and then the practical problems for the employer and maybe the employee arise, and the answer is actually that doesn't work.
And I think you're absolutely correct there. There is a lot of talk about flexible working hours, friendly policies in relation to supporting family policies and childcare and all that type of thing. There's a lot of good stuff going on as well. So I know I am a colleague of mine I spoke to recently. She works, she's Senior Vice President in HR in Ballina Beverages, which is essentially Coca-Cola in Ballina. And they have for many years had this 80% rule or 50% rule. So you could make an application to see, could you reduce your hours by 20%, so you'd work 80% of the time, or could you reduce it by 50% and you would work part-time essentially. And they've been doing that very quietly and very smartly for a long time, and it's worked in their business. But they've developed the policies around it and they've developed the commitment. It is about changing the culture internally in the organisations. And again, I did HR management many years ago in the University of Limerick, and we had some very great lecturers down there. But we did talk about this whole concept of the work expanding to fill the time available, and then also in organisations this culture of what's called presenteeism, so that if people don't see you there till 7:30 in the evening working really hard, they think you're not doing your job. And that's very much an American culture at times that has come in from the United States, rather than, if you like, the European culture, which is much more work really hard from 9 to 5:30 or 9 to 6:30, do your job, and then go home and enjoy your lifestyle. And I've actually seen this because we do some work in Sydney as well, and we have an office in Sydney. But you see it in the culture in Australia. People work really hard from 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening, and then they go home and they have a really great lifestyle outside of work. So I think it's about changing mindsets within organisations and even within ourselves.
Right.
That we're able to do that, and we're able to say, no, look at what I've accomplished, and these are the outcomes of what I've been doing.
Okay. Really interesting. Listen, thank you so much for kicking that off for us this morning. Margaret Cox, Director at ICE Group and Pittman Training. They're going to a 4-day week for 5-day pay, the 3-day weekend for their team, and they believe it is a runner and will really work for them. What do you think? WhatsApp or text 086 123 95 95.
Call Limerick Today now on 46 19 95.